Hey, it's Warren Whitlock here. Emerging Technologies is the name of the podcast. And I'm glad that you decided to stop by virtually. Today, we're going to talk about virtual reality and how that's going to be a better world here on the Emerging Technology podcast. It sounds like I should play a theme right here, but no, not today. That'll be a virtual theme in your head. Sing a song because you're listening. We do not have theme music. I'm open to suggestions. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think I ought to do about the beginning of the show. Maybe I need a show tune and sing something. Nah, that wouldn't work. Well, come up with something. But virtual can be better than real. And what is AR, VR, and all this talk about having headsets and glasses that change how you see things? I've been doing that for an awful long time. When I was a kid, I had trouble seeing something, and I went to the front of the class so I could read the chalkboard better. In the old days, chalk. Oh, chalk. Missed the chalkboards. Not. And so they took me to a doctor and said, "You're going nearsighted, boy." And they gave me some glasses. And I was the nerdy kid with glasses all through high school. And I went to Thailand and they talked to me about contacts, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Went to Thailand and found out that it was difficult to be sweating a bit more because I was I was riding a bicycle outside in the tropics, and I didn't like that. And I bought a pair of tinted glasses that the tint didn't stay, and I had tint running down my face. And I said, I don't want this ever again. When I came back from Thailand, I got contact lenses, and so that's now, oh gosh, 45, 50 years I've been wearing contact lenses, and I'm an altered human being. Reality looks better when I put a piece of plastic in my eye. And so, on the very basis, that's what we're doing. We are enhancing the reality that we can experience. Let's go off and talk for that for just a second about what is real. That the way things, the colors, the details of things are all colored by your brain, your physiology, and your experiences. None of us come into this world knowing what colors are. We're taught by our parents, and you look at something, and if you're colorblind, you see it as a different color entirely. But all of us have a multitude of different colors, and it's impossible for me and you to look at the same thing and know that how they are different, because you can't explain to me how it's different for you than it is for me, because you can't see what I see and I can't see what. And so as we move into better and better technology, we get closer to the ideal of being able to see the same kinds of things. And television, which was a career I studied for at first, when I first got to college, was I was going to learn about TV production. And we went to, and I also studied the electronics needed, because back then you had to understand the electronics if you were going to work at it, especially at a radio station where you might be the only person manning the transmitter. So it was quite a depth of the electronics I studied, about how it's put together. Fascinating how they came up with the idea of fooling us into thinking that the picture on the TV is real. It's not. Go to a movie theater, it's a little bit more real-ish because light is shining through film and projected onto the screen. That seemed okay. The same little picture that's on the film appears on the screen. With a digital projector, that's not what happened. Little light is emitted from a chip and amplified and through lenses and goes to the screen. And if you're watching a digital television today, it's the same thing. Or your computer monitor, it's a lot of very, very little light bulbs that turn on in different colors and give you the illusion that you're looking at a picture. And so how far can we take that? I think we're nowhere near what we're going to be able to do. I just saw David Chaum, the guy that invented cyberpunks and the idea of digital money, digital cash, back in his thesis in college in 1982, which later got thanked by Satoshi as one of the contributors to what made Bitcoin work. If you can, and I'll plug my friend's book, Bitcoin Supercycle. Learn about this. But anyway, I've learned this story from the book. That's Michael Turpin's book, Bitcoin Supercycle. Get it at all your fine bookstores. Okay, back to the story. He is working on something now that seems outlandish, and that is to take whatever kind of eyewear you have and change the glass out with something that isn't any heavier, but is able to display things. And that will give us an opportunity to put text, to close capture real life, or to add something to it, or just let you see what's there. Apparently, the physics is worked out, and he hasn't yet developed any technology that's something that's even in a lab. That's something to look forward to. I've been saying for about, I think it was 2019 when we were talking about this subject, and somebody said, yeah, the glasses are going to be incredible in the future. And I said, glasses, so then why not make it a contact lens? Because I'm a contact lens wearer. Do I want to have contact lenses that have an attachment for a battery so I have to charge them? No. I'm not really sure that I ever want to wear something with any kind of computing power in my contact. But it's getting to where that could be in our future, the ability to do that. Popularity, I'm not really sure. It doesn't need to be surgically implanted. I don't know. But I'll worry about that when they have that. Right now, what we have is virtual reality and augmented reality. There's an XR, but let me just simplify it. Anytime you go put on some goggles and don't want to see anything else that's going on, just be able to see a screen and play a game, get immersed in that. That's virtual reality. Virtual reality could also be you're playing a game, you're seeing on your computer monitor. You turn off all the lights, so all you can see is the lighted computer monitor. You're still as in that as you could be in a movie or whatever. And the advanced, of course, the popular idea of it is that you can then get so immersed that it's 3D, you can turn around and you'll see something different. Yeah, and that's delivered via goggles and quite too heavy for me to wear for very long. That's virtual reality. Augmented reality is when you get something like glasses or even that's those same goggles, and the cameras go ahead and show the real world, and you get the real world plus. So just like when I wear contact lenses, I see the world differently. You'll be able to see the world differently because you'll be able to see the name of everybody you meet. Just did this last night. I'm at a party. I see somebody I have talked to over and over again. I'm also hearing some stories about a person and how they just met that person, how great it was. Turned out that a couple of people said, Warren, will you come with us? We're going to dinner. We went to dinner. And when there was a lull in the conversation, I leaned over to this person and said, would you do me a favor and help me with an embarrassing situation? Can you tell me what your name is? Turned out the person that everybody was saying I should meet was somebody that I knew, talked to many times, but I forgot to match the name with the face. And think about how great it would be that I'm in that situation in a cocktail party and I know who people are. Not creepy, because I think we'll all know that every time I say this, my common thing I say in a group of people is that I have face blindness. I can remember your face, not like the correct way to use face blindness is you can't tell people by their faces. I can. I remember them. I remember talking to them. It's great. I also remember their name. I remember talking to them. But when I see a person that I haven't seen for a while at a conference or something like that, I can't match the two together. I don't know what it is. It's something I've always had. So it's not my brain fading with old age. It might be my brain too full with all the people I know, but hard to say. It'd be so great to be able to have their name flash across the screen when I'm about to greet them. I do know politicians, heads of state, do things like have a person travels with them, studied who could possibly be there, has connections to the rest of the staff, and is able to whisper in the ear of the head of state who they're meeting so they can refresh their memory. And I'd like to have one of those. I'd like to have it be my AI, and I'd like it to be delivered so that nobody else has to watch that. Bios, what have we talked about before? and we could get deeper into a conversation, and that real human connection would be better because I have some notes to work with. And also there'd be a record of it, and they'd have it too. And they saw me and they go, "Oh yeah, I remember that last time I saw you. You're the guy that fell over and landed in the pool." Yeah, they'll be able to remember everything. And so that's great. And that would be an augmented reality or an X. I don't care, AR, VR, XR. These are all the same. You are changing what the visual thing and audio is that you're feeding your brain. I've just seen some new research on smell, that they're able to stimulate smells, which apparently, I think it's in the low hundreds of different things that we smell and possibly smell. And by combining some of them together, you get down to very small little bits of chemical can be combined together and create most of these smells. And it's been something that the science of how to do it has been around for a while, and they're getting better at whatever they have to do. I don't know. I've never been one to rely on my sense of smell much, but the idea that I could smell cookies when there were no cookies around, I don't know what the advantage is to that, but we'll find one, I'm sure. And basically, what makes all of this work is that what you are being fed is different than what you would get otherwise. When I wear a hearing aid, I can hear things that are there, but I can now understand the language being used. When I wear a glasses, it changes through lenses. And when I get to a computer or a TV screen, it's little bits of light coming at me. And now even the connection to, can I go inside the monitor and find where the little picture comes from? It's not there. The monitor doesn't know that those lights say anything. As far as I know, they're not putting any chips for intelligence. It's likely a bunch of chips in your average computer monitor or TV now, but they're not being used to record or remember or understand anything about what's being displayed. That'd be a great one if your TV remembered what you watched and decided to tell something about it. Yeah, that's a whole different. No, we'll put that one in our cybersecurity episode. Right now, the big thing we hear about, of course, is gaming. If you've experienced VR, most likely in a game, and most likely all consuming, you get into it, or you're able to play with friends, but everybody's wearing a headset. That's the most common version of it. And AR would be something like Pokemon Go, where you hold your phone at a scene and something else comes up on top of it. With glasses, it would just appear in the glasses. But there are more practical. By the way, gaming, big money. So I'm not writing off gaming, but there's more practical things we really need, like education. I look forward to the time that I can open the hood of my car, and it's a car I'm renting. I know nothing about it, and I need to check the oil or whatever you check on an electric car. Oh, no hood. But anyway, I've got an old car and I decide to check the oil. I open up the hood and my glasses point exactly to where the thing is I'm supposed to grab a hold of. And then it interprets what I read off the reading and tells me what it means. And be able to do that oil change is the most obvious one I think anybody would want to know how to do. And I know I've encountered an engine where it was hard to find. But if you need to turn a bolt or take out a particular piece, usually repairs are fairly simple. It's the where is that eighth bolt that was hidden, because I have to take off something else to get to it. And today it's watch a YouTube video and figure out how to do something. In the future, that's going to be always be just seeing where it is. Need to fix a washing machine? What's inside a washing machine? I have a personal experience. I used to be able to take apart a washing machine, replace something, because I'm a handy person and I did that. You wouldn't catch me anywhere near doing that today, but back then, that was something that I thought I could do and save a service call. And I bought a brand new washing machine and it was fantastic. The guy came out, he did two technical things that blew me away. He took a phone call while he was working. I was watching him because I wanted to know what I'd missed in case I wanted to take it apart again later. And so I'm standing there watching him. And I've taken off of work to be there, and he takes a call. And of course, at first, the obvious is that's annoying. And I would say that's bad etiquette even today. But we talked about it for a minute, and he said he was able to get twice as much done because he was able to take care of the booking the next call and reporting into the office all on that little device. And this is back flip phone at best, a very old story. And that made me think that any kind of technology that comes up can be used in everybody. And the other amazing thing is that he took out a couple of screws and took the whole top of the washing machine off, and there was a base sitting there that did everything except for the control button that were in the outside body. And I learned how to take it apart because there were several parts to putting together the body. You didn't take them off; you just worked around them. And so completely blew me away. And it's about that time that I decided I didn't work on my own cars or my own appliances because I ended up spending much more time than what the money I would make if I kept working. Education is great. I think in the future, doctors will learn to do surgery on a virtual patient when they're not having the robot do the surgery for them, but we'll be able to get the exact feel for it. I'm told that in some of the advanced surgery training type of things, and or the remote thing where a doctor is able to do surgery in a remote village, that a robot is doing the work, but it's totally controlled by the doctor. They can feel as they cut skin with the scalpel. They can feel as they touch something. The sensory experience is so good on that. Very concentrated on what they're doing. In other things, bodysuits are giving you full experience everywhere. That brings up an interesting thing. If I get to go to if I ever go to Machu Picchu, that for some reason, if I had a bucket list, Machu Picchu would be there. But my desire is not to go to Machu Picchu. It seems like a bit of a hassle. My desire is to be able to say I've been to Machu Picchu. I've seen films, I've seen documentaries, I've seen travel logs. I've even seen people show me how a unfit old guy like me could get to Machu Picchu. I thought it was a hike, but I still don't want to go. But I'd like to be able to, in my brain and in my memory, remember what it's like to go to Machu Picchu. I have to tell you, I don't think that's possible. I think there's always going to be something to be physically present at a place. Same with the Grand Canyon. You can get some great virtual reality of the Grand Canyon and going over that edge and seeing other things that you couldn't do in real life. I was a fan of the Grand Canyon. It's no longer on my bucket list. Years ago, I went when it stood out at the edge. Even before I got anywhere near that, I saw it from across the parking lot as I came in. I saw a glimpse of it. And my view of reality changed totally at that time. With that, there's some things that are just so immense. You could pour in all the problems of the world and have space left over in the Grand Canyon. And so I don't think of virtual reality and augmented reality as something that's going to take care of everything. But I do think it's going to affect us. Boy, I didn't talk about everything. I had a note here to tell you about retail because you already can virtually try on clothes. You can rearrange furniture. I've seen what's coming. My wife watches a lot of renovation shows to renovate the house. The technology keeps getting better and better that they use. I saw something a few days ago where you couldn't tell that it wasn't absolute reality. And it took the house apart, put it back together. And it only took a few seconds till you realize it can't be real because that can't happen in reality. But if you took a look at the actual image that they were working with, any still looked like real. And it's something we've got to look at getting better and better. I think the careers of being able to work in this way and know more things and be able to go that it some jobs it would eliminate. I might be able to take that washing machine apart by myself with the current technology. There wasn't even YouTube when I did it, and when that story happened. And yeah, I think in the future you'll be able to do that, or you'll be able to have your robot access that information, and everything a robot sees is virtual reality. And so it's going to get better and better. We I suggest learn about this, try it out. I bought an Oculus headset only so that I could put on an Oculus headset and experience it. I thought I'd play a game or I'd do something. I ended up watching an entire movie on it, some YouTube videos. I went to a networking space and saw other avatars, but had no idea who they were, what the common interest was at the event. As just being at a random bar and random bar without alcohol. Interesting. I didn't last very long there. I couldn't move the thing around very well. I didn't practice the controller. But what stuck with me from it is just how close it is to get really close to people. I think in Zoom calls now, it's very common, especially if I'm hosting one, you get on early and right at the top of the hour, 6 or 7 note takers come in. And in the industry I'm working in doing that, everybody thinks they're doing a favor and sets the thing to send. Every participant gets a copy of their notes. And so after the thing's over, I get a whole bunch of emails with a summary and transcription of the meeting. And that's something that's got to be worked out because we always somebody comments, wow, there's more note takers than there are people here. When we're sending our AI, there may be AIs talking to each other, and ultimately, why do they even need to have a meeting? They're always connected. They always can share their thoughts at any time and or represent you. But I think we will have something where if we have a meeting and it's online, we may be wearing a headset and feel like we're there. We may be seeing it on a monitor, or we may just pick up a phone and dial in. At any rate, the representation on the screen is going to get better. We're going to be able to see more things. I've already got some tools that allow me to see contact information of people that log in so that I can go ahead and understand who they are more. We spend a lot less time introducing everybody. So some calls, they introduce 10 people and the call's half over. Some people like to talk a bit when they get introduced. On those calls, I am not one of them. Anywhere else in life, you give me a microphone and you have to fight me to get it back. But I think what you need to do is try out these things when you can. You go to a demonstration or whatever. Don't think it's one that you're going to be able to let pass. You can, it's your choice, but I don't think it's good for be able to get ahead and know everything. One of the great things about the future, in my view, is that when I get hooked up and I'm able to go out into the world, I'm taking everything with me everywhere I go. And while some people say, how do you ever put it down? Aren't you always working? I say, no, it's play. I enjoy what I do and I get to do it all the time. The thought of going off someplace and disconnecting totally from the technology for a day or two, to me seems silly because I like having it nearby. I could fully pay attention, go do something with family, have fun, not look at my phone or anything. But every once in a while, I am reassured in knowing that if somebody really needed to get a hold of me, they could. And I extended that. Now I've been working that way for 20 years. I'm now at the point that I let people know I'm always available, day or night. Contact me. I might be asleep and not see your message for 6 hours, but it's okay to contact me. And that's because of asynchronous communication. And I think more and more of us are getting used to that and not expecting that when you pick up a phone and dial that a human being is going to react unless they're planning on hearing from you. And again, there's close friends and family that, of course, they always call. And that's always a priority. But good to know that your work will be able to work around what you and just become what you want to do. And technology is going to amplify that no matter what. Good to help people, employment, making money, career, running a business. It's all going to be enhanced as we bring more of the world into the metaverse, they say, or into one of the metaverses, and so that we're communicating electronically. One could say we're in a metaverse as it is because the whole universe might just be some experiment of a middle schooler in an advanced universe that made us all up. We don't know. Uh, but until then, I'm as real as I can be, and I want to be a real asset to you. Hope you've got something out of this. Like, comment, subscribe, help me tell other people about the abundance that's coming in our future and the opportunities we have to live richer, fuller life and to help others do the same. And I hope you take care and then take care of somebody else and come back and see me again on Emerging Technologies.